Welcome to GPS for your life. By using your date, time, and town of birth, and systems like human design, gene keys, and astrology, Ashley Goner and Jeannie Winters will show you how to remember what you wanted to experience in this lifetime to finally find clarity, purpose, and alignment in your life. Join them now for the next episode.
Welcome back to GPS for Your Life with me, Ashley Goner, and our magical Jeannie Winters, here to discuss relationships in astrology and so much more. Jeannie, take it from here and explain what we get to talk about today.
Okay, great. So today I want to talk about astrology and partnerships or relationships. And I'm going to go into a few different types of charts that you can pull up in astrology. But first, I want to go through a little analogy so that people can understand, people who are not familiar with astrology, they can understand why you'd want to know this kind of stuff. Okay. So imagine two people born at the same time in different locations. One of them is born into a wealthy family, and the other one's born into a middle class family, right? So they both, the person who is born to a wealthy family has advantages, right? That the other person doesn't. Their family might know how to invest money because they have enough to, invest, or they may also um, hear that kind of conversation over dinner or whatever, whereas the middle class family may not be discussing that. They may be discussing something totally different. You know, um, Maybe they have to work extra hours to make the bills or something. That's what the other person hears. So one is not better than the other. It just happens to be the scenario that they were born into, right? So with that, if you think about astrology, it's the same thing, okay? One person is, depending on where the planets are, it's kind of like how the family setup is, right? So if you have aspects or planets in a house, like the second house or the eighth house, which are money houses, if you have easy aspects there, you tend to have an easier setup with material things, right?
Mhm.
Things just flow to you easier. Whereas if you had challenging aspects or challenging planets in those houses, it just means that you can still get what the other person has. You just might not find it as easy to obtain, right? So
Right.
just because one person is wealthy and has all the advantages doesn't mean that they're going to do what needs to be done to sustain that, right? They may end up, you know, deciding that they're just going to party all their life because things come so easy. And then when they have to do things on their own, they don't know what they're doing. Whereas the person who's in the middle class family, they have to really try hard and they know that. So they build themselves up to be able to afford things and sustain and stuff like that. So it can go either way. It's just the foundation of it, right?
Got it.
So when we talk about astrology, it's not saying, oh, well, you have this in your second house, so you're going to be rich. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means it might come a little easier, right? So understanding it, this is what people talk about. This is a part of being self-aware, understanding what your strengths are or what your weaknesses are, things that that you might need a little bit of help with, as
Right.
opposed to things that come really, really easy. Okay.
And
Under,
your purpose. So when you're picking your parents or you're picking the time the your path that you need to go on in this life, are we as a soul looking at it like I'm going to learn about money. I'm not going to be born until the planets are not in the second and the eighth house because I really need to struggle and learn how to create income versus being put in a family that or having the planets in the second and eighth house and it being so easy for me. Is that a choice that we make?
so It depends on who you ask. I personally don't believe that we go that detailed. I think that we pick the larger scheme of things because if you're going to make everything easy, that's is kind of pointless. You're not really
Right.
learning. But and the planets all move at different times. It's never going to be the same as it was at a different point, right? So I think that you pick the main aspects and then the other ones are what comes into play at that time in history, if that makes sense,
Hmm.
right? So like um, we recently had aspects where Aries, or I should say, I think it was my brain is I'm losing it. I think it was Neptune was at 0 degrees of Aries, and so was Saturn. And we haven't had that in some people have weren't even able to find it in history.
Hmm.
That's never happened before. So you would have to wait a very long time if that's the
Oh, I
aspect you were
see.
looking for, right?
Right.
So I don't think you care about the little things because you have free will, so you can change different things. Like you would definitely want to decide if you are going to have some type of disability, you would definitely
Hmm.
know about that. Or if you were going to uh, if you had like major anger issues, that would be something that was large and big and showed up in a big way. That's
Hmm.
something you would have probably picked. But the little pieces here and there, you probably wouldn't have, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of like buying a car. You pick the color, you pick the model, you pick the make, but you probably don't pick the stitching in the seats,
Right.
right? So it's you get whatever. And if that's important to you later, then you pay attention to that the next time you come around, right?
Right.
And then
What,
you give,
when you see like you have your wealthy friends that like have millions of, they're nothing a care in the world. Do you feel like they've been poor before in another life and this life they're just like living large? Or
yeah,
do you look at it that way? Okay.
probably, yeah. So anybody who is, and I know this to be true regardless, I mean, some people know things, they just know it. Um, I know that this point in time, especially because of all the different astrological things that are happening at this point in time, that um, a lot of people didn't want to experience a lot of the struggle. So they could do one of two things, opt out, right?
Hmm.
And which a lot of people did during COVID, right? That was like a mass exodus because they didn't want to be here for this shift in 2027.
Right.
Or, I mean, there's actually several things. They could have stayed and not incarnated. They wanted to wait until after to be born as one of the new humans. Or they could have taken an easier route, but to be honest, it may seem like an easy route financially, but they have other things that they're struggling with outside of the finances. So
Right.
some people may be struggling with the finances, but they have a really good family setup. Whereas you might have somebody who's very wealthy. I know somebody very well who's very wealthy, and he is not a very nice person at all. His family,
Right.
nobody wants anything to do with him, and so money does not create happiness. So it just depends on what you do with it. You get this platter of all these things that you have, strengths, weaknesses, challenges, all this stuff. And then what are you going to do with it, right? What
Right.
we tend to do is we tend to look at it and say, oh, this is all so hard. And if this is easy, why isn't it just happening for me? It's not supposed to work out that way. You're supposed to keep going on your journey and understand, well, money may come easier to me, so I might want to invest because investments will probably work out well for me because that's the energy that I have. Whereas it might not be something that would work for me. I don't have a good aspect in my eighth house, which is where investments would be. So I
Oh,
might want to do something different. I might want to, like I don't even know, like maybe build a house, and it's kind of an investment too, but it's not like investing. I might want to build a house and rent it out. So I have money coming from real estate as opposed to, you know, pure investments like stocks and bonds and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
you would want to know where you have the strongest aspects in order for you to decide how to manage it. But most people don't do that. They don't even look at it. They're just like, well, I come from a family who's always had a struggle, so I'm always going to have to struggle. And
Right.
you're going against the energy that you were given. If you understand that self-awareness, if you're aware of how you're made,
Hmm.
self-aware, then you can move forward, and you'll know, okay, well, I struggle with structure like me. I struggle with structure. And so I definitely need to be around people who are really good at structure because it ain't happening. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Oh,
Like,
but
I'm good with this type of stuff, but if I fought it and I still try to stay structured myself, I'm actually fighting against myself. I know this is a weakness, so I know I need different things to help me stay on course, which is exactly why you are my blessing doing the YouTube with me, because you keep me in line. You keep me going in the right structure. I mean, it's a blessing.
so in your one of your houses, like in mine, because we were talking earlier before we were recording about my discipline, right? Like that's just my routine. That's my who I am. That I've always been that way. Like definitely I schedule my life around my routine.
Mhm.
I
I'll
gotta
guarantee
get
you have a strong sixth house. You have
okay.
something in the sixth house. Yeah, because that's your daily life, that's your health, that is your routine.
Okay.
And I think my sixth house is totally empty, if I remember.
That's so funny. The thing about it when I'm learning from you is like you can't, make something it's not. We can't, you look at like I look at the girls and how we've learned all the things that they're so different. You can't make her be her. Like I can't, as a mom, expect the same from each, if
Right.
you're looking at it from that perspective. Like for you, like I'd say, Jeannie, get up every day at 6 o'clock, do your Pilates, and then call me. You'd be like, what the heck, Ashley?
First of all, 6 o'clock, there is a 6 o'clock in the morning. That's the first thing I would say. I know there's a 6 o'clock at night. No,
See, at six
no,
o'clock at night, I'm in my pajamas.
yeah,
So
yeah, we have totally different things there. Yeah, I'm not. I totally get that. So that's so important to know because, like, Anthony, right? He's my ex-husband, somebody I'm dating, and we're actually planning on getting married again. The marriage is
yay.
going to work this time because we get it. So, like before, he used to try to force me to be like him, and I tried to force him to be like me. And now we understand he's really good with structure. And so, whenever we have to do something that really needs to be done on time in a right way, he right on it. And he knows, don't ask Jeannie to remind you of something because something shiny passes and she's
Oh,
just
funny.
gone, you know. So everybody
Squirrel.
knows. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So we laugh about it now. It's like he'll stop mid-sentence. He'll be like, can you remind? Oh yeah, okay, forget it. And then
Right? Yeah.
but my son is really good with time, really good. Like he's so structured. He's he lost like I think it's like 80 pounds or something.
Oh, wow.
He
Still
he
going? Wow,
he's still
amazing.
going. He's
Oh, that's
in
so great.
amazing shape, and I've never seen him look like this. He goes to the gym almost every day. He's always on time for work. He's 19. He's just the most structured out of everybody. And I know that. So I know that if I need something, I can count on him
Right.
to get it done. He's still 19, so he'll
Right.
be a little lazy about some things, but if I need something, he's like doom 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 doom, he'll
So
get
in
it.
his sixth house, it would be something that shows that he has that structure.
Yeah, so it could be a lot of different, it could be several different things, but usually when it comes to your daily structure, it would be the sixth house,
Okay.
right? And you could have, so like, because it seems to come easier to you and to him, um, it didn't come as easy to him when he was younger, but I would say, I think, I'm not saying this for absolute sure, but he probably has Saturn, which is all about structure, in the sixth house with an easier aspect to something else, right? So like maybe because he's um like his father would be very structured. So he probably has like an easy aspect to Jupiter abundance, right? Like Anthony washes his sneakers and irons everything he owns. And I mean, everything has to be just so wearing my hair up, ponytail,
Right, yeah.
wet pants, he's he's always, it looks, he looks like he's going out all the time. And we're like total opposites there.
Oh,
But
funny.
yeah, so I mean, it just depends on where the aspects are. And just because you don't have a planet in a house doesn't mean that it doesn't mean anything. So if whatever my um, whatever sign is in that house, you would look for the ruler of that and what house that was in, and then it would help you understand what your about your health and your routine and stuff like that.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
um,
let's get our relationship.
okay, back to
Let's get
relationships. So,
back
yeah.
on track
So
here.
thank you. So so we're talking about now, we were just talking about your specific energy. So now anybody who enters a relationship of any sort, mother, daughter, father, son, loving uh spouses, whatever, you become one energy. You don't have your energy. I mean, when you're apart, it is your energy, his energy. But when you're together, it is one specific energy. And that energy is here to do something specific. Okay. So we call that, so there are different charts that you can run to find out what your purpose is. So there's three different charts. One is a synastry chart. That tells you how you interact with each other. That's like one chart on the outside, one chart on the inside, and the signs are aligned. So you'll start with the first house in one, but if you have Pisces here and the other person has Pisces in the seventh house would connect here. So you would see how you guys connect through the signs, right? Now, that is something we're not going to talk about today, but that gives you an idea. So, like, for example, usually when people are married, one of the two you'll find has Venus in um, the whatever the sign is that is in the seventh house of the other person.
Oh,
So, yeah, so if I have the Venus in that sign, and I do. Anthony has the seventh house in that sign. What that is I see him as having what I want for a partner.
hmm,
That's what that means. Okay.
interesting.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's usually reciprocated, but not exactly in the same, it's not always in the same way. And it also depends on aspects and stuff like that. But the other charts are the Davidson corrected. Davidson corrected is your relationship as the whole journey. So it's not just, okay, this is where you guys get along and don't get along. This is like, where is this going? Is it going to end up, are you guys going to get married? Are you going to split up? Are you guys going to open a business together? It literally goes into
Hmm.
the potentials of where this relationship is going to go.
I mean, you could see in someone's chart if they're going to get divorced.
Oh yeah, so either there are certain points, it doesn't say you're going to get a divorce. There are certain points where it says you're either going to transform and grow together, or this is a point where you're probably going to go your separate ways.
Oh, huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's very interesting. So then we have the composite chart, and the composite chart is That's the first one I like to look at. Some people like the synastry chart first, but I like to know what the purpose of the relationship is. And so what I did was I did yours and mine just to see, because we can do it with, a spouse, and we can do it, which I'll add those on later. But I wanted to show our specific chart and what we're supposed to be doing together, what our energies are, what our purpose is. And you and I both agreed when we first started that there was just something. It was like we knew,
Right.
we knew each other either at a different time, or there was just something there. And this chart actually says a
It
lot of
does.
that. Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
You know how many people had listened to our episode? I mean, you know how many people you've met through Uncover Your Magic, right? Like,
Yeah,
oh, so many.
hundreds,
But
hundreds.
I know that's why, Jeannie, is because they felt that like we are all like connected. And you and I were like that example and that the magnet that pulled them,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. It's
Isn't that cool?
yeah, it is extremely cool. And the thing I love is how it's I'm going to walk everybody through how to get to this so that they know um for themselves, right? We're so if they go to astro.com, astro.com, it'll show up like this. You're going to want to go to charts and calculations, and then go down a little bit and go to extended chart selection. And then you can pull up a lot of different charts here. So you won't get this screen unless you've used it already. What you will get is something that looks like this. And you're going to want to put your information in. The time is extremely important to have accurate. If it's not, you may have things that are off. I rectified Anthony's chart. His chart was it was a lot like him, but there was some of it it didn't make sense why we were together. But when I rectified it, it he and I are on this exact same path. Like you and I are on the same path, but you and I are on the same path going in the same direction. He's coming from one side, I'm coming from the other. So we're polar opposites, which is exactly what you're supposed to be. Opposites attract. He is coming from the first house, which means that he always put himself first. He cared about himself, making sure he was covered, he got what he needed, all that. I always came from the seventh house, which means that I wanted to take care of everybody else. So of course he'd be attracted to me, and I always wanted to be a caretaker. But now at the other side of life, on the other side of 40, he's supposed to be learning how to take care of other people and put himself last, and I'm supposed to be learning how to take care of myself and put myself first.
Oh,
So
interesting.
isn't that crazy?
Yes, especially with our conversation.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
You are also going from the seventh house to the first house. So you are here to learn how to put yourself first.
Okay. Yep. I was gonna say that sounds like me too.
hmm We need to rectify your husband's chart. All you need to rectify is several different years. You need like the years of your children's birth, maybe a major operation, maybe he broke his leg, or if he moved from one state to another, or he got a promotion. If you get those years, I can rectify the chart and get close enough that it would be pretty much spot on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it was like a 10-minute difference that I had with Anthony once we
Oh,
were done.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
most people don't remember their birthday correctly. He
Right.
thought it was 7:30 at night, and it was actually 4:18, 4:28. It was between there. So he was off by several hours, it was a
Made a
big
big
difference.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah. So after you enter all that information, you'll get this screen, okay? And it'll let you enter in up to 100 different people for free. So if you want to add more people, you just delete some of the old ones. But what you want to do is go to chart type, and You see here, it starts with the natal and then it goes into partner charts, and you want to go to composite midpoint method. Okay. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason you want to do that is it's the way it calculates it. It's the midpoint for each. I don't want to go too deep and get anybody confused, but it's the best method to use. So when you do that, it opens up the partner one. So I have mine here. And then what I want to do is look for yours. And if you don't have the person's information in here already, you could just hit add. And then you add all their information, and then you have this.
Okay.
What I recommend is that you change the house system, whoops, to whole sign houses because it's just easier to read. Okay. And now you just hit show the chart. Now, this is what we call a composite chart. Now, what this is, it's not you, it's not me, it's the energy of us together. And it's really, really interesting because of um, a, a lot a lot of the details, which I'll explain. First, here you notice we have Pluto in the seventh house. I have it in my seventh house already, which you probably do too. But we transform through partnerships.
Mm.
So when you and I are meaning how we're meant to transform is through collaborating. You and I collaborating with each other. We're meant to do that. Okay. Now, it's interesting because in the eighth house, we have Jupiter and we also have Uranus. Jupiter is about abundance, and Uranus is about unexpected. It could be chaos, it could be innovative things. For us, because we talk about a lot of spiritual things, things that are hidden, not outright. That is really good because you and I, when we talk about these systems, the different systems and the different techniques that most people don't know about,
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what this is saying. This is
Oh,
saying
huh.
because, and this is in the sign of Libra. Libra is all about like a peacemaker, somebody who's making things easier for the group, right? And so here we're doing it in abundance. We're making things clearer for people. We're teaching those types of things. And it's funny because it's also in the eighth house, which has to do again with other people's money, which investments and things like that. So this says very clearly that we will probably at some point start a community so that we're investing and they're investing so that they can learn all about the things that are hidden that will help them grow.
Oh, I
And
love it.
isn't that crazy? It's
Yes.
beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Huh.
And what I love is any of the blue lines are easy aspects. It's not as challenging. Any of the red lines are a little more challenging. But this is the really cool thing too. So if you and I, if this was your chart with your husband, you would not want to see Neptune um, squared the sun. You would not want to see that because most relationships can't, most marriages can't survive that. Not that all of them couldn't, but it would be a lot of work.
Huh.
In a partnership, a business partnership, it's different. It's not the same thing. So it depends on the type of relationship, how you're going to read it. Okay. So this is more of because it's the ninth house and this is Neptune. Again, you and I deal with things that are about belief systems, about learning, educating people, about things that are Neptune is about seeing beyond the veil, right? In this kind of a situation. So it is pointing to Aquarius in the sun in Aquarius in the 12th house. And that's also very spiritual. So it's not necessarily it's not a really hard, like we're never going to make it. It's like we're doing something that the average person might not be comfortable with, right?
Okay.
And so we're opening it up to people.
Huh.
Again, 12 is about hidden things as well. It's also about larger facilities like hospitals or um, organizations and stuff like that. But it is, so it probably would, um, it may be challenging for us to teach going against the things that are traditional. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
That's what we do,
Yep.
right? So when I ran this chart, I wanted to show people again how to look at the chart, but also how to get it read to them. So they may not know the things that I'm talking about because, you know, you can understand one thing. Like I said, if you know in relationships that this is really a challenging aspect for a marriage, you might just say the same thing for a business partner and you're not reading it actually correctly.
Okay.
So here's I want to explain this other piece and then I'm going to show you something. So down here, this is where it gives you the information of what's going on up here. So it's a chart that explains like what the aspect is. So this is the sun and this is the aspect. It's opposite the moon. Okay, here. The sun is opposite the moon. See, so here's the sun and it's opposite the moon. Opposite is an opposition is a challenge. It's really the most challenging aspect in my opinion. But that's not a bad thing for this either. So, what I want to show you is most people don't know how to read these. There is an easier way to do this. You can go to ChatGPT, but I'm going to be very cautious about how I explain it because ChatGPT can make mistakes. So I'm going to show you, let me go here. All right. So here's what you're going to do to get your chart read. And then I'm going to show you how to make sure it's accurate. So we're going to go back here and you're going to copy. First, you're going to copy the chart. And then you're going to paste it in here. And then, oh, I didn't realize it copied all that. Okay. And then you're going to go back and you're going to copy the chart at the bottom.
I
And
would never know how to do that, Jeannie.
well, do you know
Just an
now? I mean, does
FYI.
this make sense? What I'm
I would
doing?
never know how to cut and paste that.
Oh, so you can hit, so you have to learn how to, it'll say if you're using a Windows, you would do print screen, right? Do you know how to do a print screen?
No, it's
Okay.
okay. That's the last
Um,
thing I can ask
if it's,
Presley.
this is my, I use a Mac, so I have to hit um, Shift Command and then the number 5, and it gives
Oh,
me
okay.
that. And then, so if you're using a Mac, that's what you do.
That's what I would do. Okay.
Okay. And so you take a picture and then you paste it in here and then you ask it, explain this composite chart. Um, you can, however you want to word it, it is mine and Ashley's. I'm spelling it wrong. And we are on a business venture. See what it says. We'll just throw that out.
Okay. Fine.
And mine usually happens really quick. So of course this is
That's really thinking.
second day of Mercury retrograde. Yay. It goes really fast when Mercury's not in retrograde.
Well, how long is Mercury in retrograde?
For 4 weeks. Mhm.
Okay.
But then you have the shadow of the week before, which we're already past, and then a shadow of the week after, and then we're out of it. So it's saying here, so from what I can see, this is actually a very promising composite chart for a business built around communication, education, and helping people. It isn't a perfectly easy chart. Those rarely produce anything meaningful, but it has several signatures that can create a recognizable public brand if you both stay aligned on your mission. Now, I do know this to be true. We have this at 18 degrees. I don't remember what yours is specifically. Mine is 18 degrees, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
they're using a midpoint. 18 degrees is very important in astrology. It's some people call it the death degree, but that's something totally different. But this actually works out in our favor very well. It also is conjunct Venus and the North Node, so and Mercury in all in the first house. So going back, I'm going to go back to the chart, which is here. So you see all this stuff in the first house? That's
Yep.
all of what it's talking about. So now I'm going to look. The ascendant is at 18 degrees. Yep. So that's what it
Okay. They
said.
got it right.
Mm-hmm. And so this is Venus, and Venus is at 22 degrees. And as long as it depends on the planets, but as it's called an orb, as long as it's not too far off from each other, so that's 18 to 22, was that 4 degrees? That's still within the orb that they would consider to be conjunct. And
Okay.
if you notice here, Venus is only 1 degree away from our north node. So all of this is extremely powerful. But if you look here, we have Mercury here. This is Mercury at 2 degrees in the same house. Mercury is all about communication. So this is our destiny. This is our this is about, sharing love, money, all that kind of stuff. Our ascendant is us, and then you have Mercury, which is how we do all of it, how we put it all together, and that is through communication. This is telling us what our purpose is together.
Huh.
We're doing it as we're doing this YouTube. We're actually doing our purpose.
Right.
So
Oh, wow. That's why
yeah.
I love it so much, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why we enjoy it. It's like that is the sign. People get confused when they say, "Oh, you're not supposed to be happy all the time." No, we're not supposed to be happy all the time, but you're not supposed to be miserable or sad. You're supposed to use that as a signal that you're going in the wrong direction. So when you recognize that something lights you up, that is the right direction. That
Right.
is your signal. So, um, it explains what all of this is: compassionate, intuitive, healing, approachable, inspirational, relationship oriented. That's you and me. People aren't just buying information from you, right? We're not just handing out magazines. We're not just, passing out
Right.
pamphlets. They're buying a feeling they experience around the two of us, right?
See, that's what they all said.
Hmm. Isn't
It's
that
right
crazy?
there. Yes, I love it.
So then it says Venus in Pisces, which it is. So one of the things I want to show you, hopefully I'll do this. Yeah. So I put this together. It's very, very brief. Um, and I'm going to add some more to it, but I'm going to add it to the end of this, in the description. Let me get to, okay. So what I did was I took our chart and what I was
Is
just,
this what you do at 1 in the morning?
yeah, pretty much. Yep. A lot of this was done at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So, so I want people to understand this because, a lot of people don't understand. You'll have the planet, you need to have this stuff in front of you. So if you're taking your chart, you're putting it in ChatGPT and you're saying, tell me about this. First, you want to make sure you know what the signs are. This is the sun. This is Mercury. So if it's talking about the planets, well, if you don't know what the planet glyph is or the little symbol, you're not going to be able to accurately say, oh, it's here, it's there. So I added this so that people could understand what they're looking for. So maybe if you're looking for Mercury, this is what you're looking for. And then you might say, well, what does Mercury mean? Mercury is about communication, thinking and mind, learning, information processing, and expression. So whenever you see Mercury, you're going to have a strong communication in that area. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, moving forward, again, maybe it's not letting me. Oh, I opened the wrong one. No, hold on. No, I didn't open the wrong one. Just doesn't seem to want to go any further. Okay, let's try that again. There you go. So let's say we want to know, let's say the ChatGPT said Mercury is square Neptune. So you want to know what Mercury looks like and you want to know what Neptune looks like. So you're just going to go to this chart, you're going to look at the glyphs and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to now go to my chart and see if those two aspect each other anyway. What I mean by an aspect is any of these lines, okay? So
Okay.
now you're going to find, there's your, there's your Mercury, there's your Neptune, there's a line going directly from one to the other. So yes, that is true. And it's red. So
So it's hard.
it's a challenging aspect.
Okay.
So I know this, a square is a challenging aspect, but I'm going to have another sheet that you'll be able to see what's a challenging aspect and what's not. But if they're saying, oh, you have an easy trine between Neptune and um, Mercury, if you see red, no, you don't. There's no easy about red. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, why does this not want to go to the next page? Come on. Mercury. Mercury. Great. Okay. I'll just keep coming back here. All right. So then, where is it? Here. Okay. So now you can see here because you see that red line, you're not sure what aspect that is. That could be a bunch of different things. It could be an opposition because you don't know what it is. Opposition is literally opposite. So that's a different angle, but you might not know. You might think a semi-square, whatever. So how do I know for sure? Well, if you come down to this planetary distribution grid, which is what it is, and look for Neptune here, and then what's the other planet it's aspecting? This is the Mercury
Okay.
symbol, Neptune symbol, and you see the square.
Oh,
So
okay.
that tells you it's a square. That's how you know it's telling you the truth. If you go here and you see one of these blue trines, or you see a different, like you see, I don't know if you could see that, there's
Uh-huh.
a circle, a line, and a circle. That's opposition. That would be opposite. So just because it's red doesn't necessarily mean it's a square. It could be opposite. So that's why you would go to this to make sure that what ChatGPT is telling you is accurate. Make
Got
sense?
it. Yes.
So, and I'm going to have this for people. I also have other charts that show what each house is. So if it shows up here, I want to show you this. I'm all over the place, but we knew that's the way this was going to go. Mercury retrograde, look out. So what whatever it is. My people know me, so they know, okay, this is just how she goes.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't know if it's here. Maybe it's this one. Yeah. Okay. So this was another 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, so those are the planets. This is the 12 houses, and it explains, right? You can get this in different books, but I like it to be as clear as it can be and as simple as it can be. So you don't have to read 6 chapters. You can see, what the first house means, what the fourth house means, whatever, wherever that planet is. And I'm going to show you how to put it together.
Okay.
Then, oops. Okay. So then you have the 12 signs, right? What they look like, um, what they mean over here, what they stand for, and it gives you some additional information. And then, and what the ruling planet is. I'm trying not to, okay. And then I go into the different symbols, which are the aspects, right? What you'll see on that chart. And is this, there's one that's really good that I hope it's in here. It might not be. Oh, here it is. So, oh, that's not the good one though. Oh, I have it I think I have it somewhere else. Oh, but I'll show you. Um, I have this done the right way. This is not what it normally looks like. But just to give you an idea. So this, I'm talking about the sun is in Aries and it's trine the moon in Leo. So what does the planet represent? That's the first thing you want to know. So
Uh-huh.
you're going to look for the sun. What does the sun represent? Core identity, life purpose, ego, vitality, and all that others. This gives you the answer. The planet answers, what part of me are we talking about? So you're looking at this. So what part of you are we talking about when you see the sun? We're talking about you, your identity, okay? And then now you want to look at the sign that it's in. What does the sign add? So Aries adds independence, courage. So we're talking about you being independent, having courage, initiative, confidence, action. And the sign answers, how does that part of me behave? So your identity is very straightforward, right? Very confident. Now it goes to the house. So it's in, this is in this, well, it's really messed up, but it's supposed to be the first house. So what is the first house about? The first house is about your identity as well, your appearance, your personality, your first impression, your approach to life. The house answers, where is this energy most visible? So now you're saying my identity, my sun, is very outgoing and independent, and it shows in to other people in how I appear, in my personality, in my first impressions, and in my approach to life. So that's what you get when you look at a planet in its sign. And is it talking about the house? And the house, first house. Then it says, now you want to talk about the aspect. What does the aspect tell us? The trine, which is anything that's a trine, this is supposed to be blue. That's why I had
Yeah, I've
changed
never
it.
heard trine. What?
Trine, is it? Yeah. So every aspect is whenever two planets hit a degree, that a specific degree, it's considered an aspect. A trine, which is usually colored in blue, is 120 degrees. So this planet is in an aspect of 120 degrees to this other aspect. So what does a trine mean? A trine means it's easy. It's easy
Oh,
flow,
okay.
natural talent. It's in harmony with each other. It's supportive, effortless integration. You want as many trines as you can get. It is the best,
Okay.
to me, the best aspect. You can have a grand trine, which is have a huge, you have a huge triangle. So you'd have like a trine going to one, a trine going to another, and then a trine going to another, and they all have something to do with each other because they're all in a grand trine. It's pretty amazing. So the trine, the aspect, any aspect, is how do these two energies work together? So your moon and your sun work very well together because they're in a trine aspect. So now it just goes, whoops, sorry. Now,
There we go.
now it just goes down to the other planet. It says the moon and what sign the moon is in, and then what house the moon is in, and then it gives you the formula. So I'm going to put this as well. So when you're looking at your composite chart, what you're wanting to look at is, what this is how ChatGPT is breaking it down. But if you want to understand it better, this is how you understand it better. I just want people to be able to confirm at least several of the aspects to make sure that what they're getting is accurate information. So you don't have to learn everything, but
Right.
spot checking it is really important because you could run a whole chart and it could be totally wrong, right? And you think, okay, this is just never going to work. This business idea is never going to get off the ground or whatever. And it just could be that ChatGPT is not recognizing it. So I want to be very clear about ChatGPT. I know a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people didn't like calculators when they were first out. I know it sounds crazy now, and ChatGPT will sound crazy in 20 years down the
Yep.
line. But ChatGPT or AI is just a tool. You're asking it to search the internet for the information that's out there already on this subject and give it to you. So instead of you having to look it up in all the different books, it's giving you the information, but you want to make sure it's accurate because, like I said with you, it was accurate for such a long time, and then they did an upgrade and everything shifted.
Right.
So I always have to recheck it just to make sure. But it cuts down on a lot of things, right? If I wanted to double check something, I always go back to my books and my ephemeris or to make sure things are accurate. So but you don't have to learn everything that I learned if you're just looking for your own chart. It's really easy. You just pull it up and always make sure that you have, let me think, it's this the planetary distribution grid, because when ChatGPT looks at the chart, and this is an example of for you and me, when it first read this, it actually said this was conjunct this. It's not even in the same house.
Oh, wow.
So it said it had a short orb. So I had to say one is in the ninth house and one is in the 10th house. And then it still said something wrong. And I said, I had to say it again. I said, the MC is at 24 degrees of Sagittarius in the 10th house. And then I had to say Neptune is at 26 degrees or 28 degrees of the ninth house. And so it said, oh, that's much too far to be, and it would goes through the whole explanation of what it is. And a lot of the other stuff was right. I would say 90% of the stuff was right, but I want everything to be right. I want,
Right.
I have a good, so I just spot check it. If something sounds totally off, then I go back.
Okay.
Um, so this tells us that, and let's go back to what we were reading, because I want people to see it real time. And, okay, so Jupiter in Libra in the 8th house, and we saw that already. This is excellent for partnerships. The 8th house governs shared resources, investments, transformational work, psychology, deep healing. Jupiter here suggests growth through collaboration rather than trying to do everything alone. It also favors premium transformational offerings over low-cost volume. That's interesting.
That is
I
interesting.
didn't think it would say that, but okay.
Huh.
Pluto. Pluto in Virgo in the 7th house. This is probably your biggest area of work. Pluto transforms partnerships. You will likely go through periods where you completely reinvent how you work together. Power struggles can happen if one person begins making all the decisions. The healthiest expression is radical honesty, which I've said to you how many times, right? We got to be like
Yep.
painfully honest. Um, when problems arise, address them early. If you do, Pluto becomes a tremendous strength because it continually deepens trust. So that's so important because if you understand it, like, and we talked about it a while ago, that we have to tell each other what we're expecting so that it doesn't get brushed under the rug and then it becomes a problem. But we're both self-aware and
Right.
we know that about ourselves. And so we're on top of that. Like you'll text me easily and say, you know, we were doing this, and this, right? On at this time, is it okay if we shift da 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 da, and we're very clear as
Right.
opposed to just saying, well, that's what she said, so I'm assuming that's what we're gonna do, you know.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have any question, it needs to be brought up rather than just brush it.
Assuming. Yeah.
Mhm. So Saturn is at 29 degrees Aries in the second house. So this is really interesting. Um, it says this is the one that they'd watch most closely. The 29th degree is called the anaretic degree. And the best way to explain that is it's the most challenging because it's kind of like one of the ways that one of the ways that I explained it was imagine you are in a relationship with someone and you're expecting an engagement ring. Well, you're in a good relationship, the relationship's going fine, but you know that ring is coming sometime soon and it's building up all this frustration. Why don't I have it? Why am I not? You're still in a really good scenario, but you're so frustrated because you haven't gotten what it is that you've been looking forward to, right? So same
Mhm.
thing like in a business. If we were about to sign a contract for something and we were gonna, be able to do something huge, we're about to do something really good, but we're at that really frustrating point right before it breaks. That's the 29th degree. Okay. So anytime you see something at the 29th degree, that's where you want to pause and say, okay, this is something that I'm going to want to pay attention to.
Oh,
Saturn being at the 29th degree, Saturn's all about structure. So you definitely want to pay attention to that. So the second house is about money. Okay. It's also about your self-esteem, self-worth, right? So that's what it's saying here. Pricing, financial responsibility, sustainability. Early on, you may question, should we charge this much? This is if we were charging anything. Will people really pay? Are we worth it? It's self-esteem. Over
funny.
time, this placement rewards professionalism. The more you treat the venture like a serious business with clear pricing, financial planning, and boundaries, the stronger the foundation becomes. Really important. Saturn has to do with longevity. So Saturn isn't like a quick, here's a bunch of stuff, this is great, move on, kind of like Jupiter can be. But Saturn is make sure you have all your stuff set up as you go. And this is going to be something that you're going to leave to your children. Like
Oh,
that.
okay.
That's the
Huh.
kind of Saturn is. So, um, so if we're gonna, spin off into something that we're selling, this would be something that we would want to sit down and agree on and make sure that we had the structure right. And anytime we wanted to switch things, we would talk about it openly and make sure that we were both in agreement. And that way, as we went, it would really solidify and it would be a solid foundation. Um, the aspect pattern. So a few aspects stand out. Sun opposite the moon. So again, now we'll go back and I'm pretty sure that was accurate, but I'll just go back. So you got the moon here. and it is opposite the sun, and it would be red because it's a challenging aspect. Um, oh, my little thing here is in the way. Okay, so now I got to go back and find it. Where did I put it? Yes. Did I pass it? Yeah, I sure did. Okay. I might have gone too far. No, I skipped some things that I probably should go back to, but it gives you the idea. So, you should also check on some of them. The mission is saying that's where the sun is. And the day-to-day emotional needs, which would be the moon in Leo, don't always pull in the same direction. So one of you may naturally focus on the broader vision while the other is more attuned to the human connection and immediate impact. Handled well, sorry, my outside is bad. I thought that said handled veil. This creates balance. Handled poorly, it can feel like you're speaking different languages. Regular conversation about long-term goals versus day-to-day priorities will help. The moon conjunct Mars, this adds passion and energy. You can motivate one another and move projects forward quickly, but it also means emotions can flare during stressful periods. It's better to address disagreements directly rather than letting resentment build. So overall, business assessment, it goes into it at the bottom. Strong public appeal through compassion and authenticity. Excellent chart for education, coaching, and transformational work. Natural ability to build and a recognizable brand around the partnership itself. Favorable indicators for publishing, YouTube, speaking, and online programs. Growth through collaboration and helping others navigate deep life changes.
Huh.
Challenges. I know, isn't that crazy?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like that is us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we,
Absolutely.
what if we put in, instead of said business venture or partnership, what if we just said, I'm considering to have Ashley as my friend? Would it
Oh, it would be the same thing, just on a with a friendship. Um,
tone?
I mean, you are my friend, so it's more, yeah, it would be more, it wouldn't talk about, so I'll go ahead and do it. Let's see. Explain the chart as friendship. Pisces ascendant. So this is kind of friendship where you might finish each other's thoughts, sense when the other is struggling, naturally encourage one another, feel inspired after spending time together. There's also genuine compassion. Both people tend to want the best for the other. Sun in Aquarius. The purpose of the friendship isn't simply companionship. It's built around learning, exchanging ideas, challenging each other's thinking, helping the other grow, and creating something that benefits others. So it's similar. It's just
Huh.
not talking about
Fascinating.
business
Yeah.
itself. Look at this, how
I-
crazy.
I've known
This,
you forever.
I've known you forever. That is so what you
I
said the
love
first
that.
time we met. And I
Right?
agreed. I agreed. Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I almost have tears. It's like that was ChatGPT telling me that, right?
Yep.
That is so crazy. Huh.
That's what I'm saying. And it's so wild because
Wow.
we already have this relationship. I mean,
Right.
so we know that this is real. We know
Right.
that that's true. So for ChatGPT to come up with that because the chart says it, it's it's phenomenal. What I love for people is if you run your chart with your child or with your husband or wife or whatever, you know each other already. So
Right.
you can recognize where you're going, some of the things that are going wrong, but you might not be aware, self-aware of what's poking you. And
Right.
so this tells you, okay, if we were a little more structured, we probably wouldn't struggle with money so much. If
Right.
we were on, on point with, how we want to raise the kids, and we talked about it before, we talked to the kids first, without the other, we would probably do better. People don't stop to think that there's an easy way around it, and it's not the same for everybody. Some
Right.
people, are supposed to do it totally different. So there's not a common sense to it. It
No.
depends on the relationship energy.
But look at the
So,
bottom line. When something feels off, it's better to ask than assume. And we were just talking about that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no, I mean, and this is spot on. The friendship brings laughter, creativity, enthusiasm, confidence. Both people probably feel seen by the other. Absolutely.
Yep. For sure.
100%. When one succeeds, the other genuinely wants to celebrate.
Yep.
I mean,
That's so amazing.
isn't it crazy? So that is something I hope. I mean, if people don't want to use ChatGPT, they don't have to. But for people who are struggling, who want the information and can't afford to just go out and pay somebody to read their chart, they can start using this kind of stuff and just ask another question. Ask another, what I mean? Every time I don't understand. What do you mean moon conjunct Mars? What does that, can you break that down into more detail? Watch. Can you break down moon, come on, moon conjunct uh in more detail? And there you go. Just that one little piece.
Wow.
It's going to go into the whole
Yeah.
deep,
It's your teacher.
right? And so it's, you don't have to be an expert. You just have to know what question you want answered, right? And you can say to it, that didn't make any sense to me. Give it to me in eighth grade readability.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
fun.
eighth grade readability means it won't use any kind of jargon, and it won't use anything that like somebody, who went to college for this would have. You can say, I don't know anything about astrology. Explain it to me as if it's the first day. And it will. It'll go back and it'll, always explain it,
Amazing.
break it down. And the more you do it, the more it gets to know how you like things broken down.
You
So
know, it's like I'm reading this now. If someone fairly criticizes one of you, the other is likely to step in. That is so true. Like if I heard some,
absolutely.
isn't that funny?
It's
Gosh.
absolutely true. It is, it's like you can't hide. And the cool part is you don't have to put your name in. People get worried about putting their date of birth or name or something. You don't have to do that. Just take a picture of the chart. It
Right.
doesn't know, ChatGPT doesn't know your name or any of that. If you don't want it to know, you don't have to. You're just putting a picture of a chart in, and it's going to give you, that could be, Oprah Winfrey and,
Right.
her best friend. So they have no idea who you're talking about.
Right.
So
That's cool. I love it.
anyway, so that is, so again, with the composites, you want to make sure when you're saying it, you need to say what the relationship is, because it's going to read it on that angle. And some aspects are meant differently in a love relationship as they are in other relationships. So you may get the wrong information if you are talking about a different type of
Got it. Yeah,
connection.
that makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we can go, I'm gonna do a couple more. I'm gonna do you and your daughters, and mine and Anthony's, afterward, just the screenshots of it, and I'm gonna explain them. But for now, that's it. That's what I
All
have.
right. That was so fun.
Was it good? You understood
Yes.
it? Made
I
sense?
loved it. Yes. So fun. Gosh, it makes you, you know, people listening, I would want to go do everyone in like that are like main characters in my life, to understand if there was, anything that was questioning, like why is this connection feel off? Or it just brings everything like on the spotlight.
Isn't it crazy? And you can do what you can do is you can run the composite chart, and then after you ask about the chart, you can say, I struggle. Maybe I tend to have arguments with this person over nothing. What could that be from? And it'll tell you. And then you can say, what can I do? What would help me in this area? And it'll give you techniques on
Huh.
how to work with that energy so that you don't keep running into the same problems.
Do you think like therapists and uh, counselors and all those people will start to die down and people will I mean, once people trust and understand that ChatGPT is really a tool for that? Or do you think,
So I think that they're going to be using it. I don't know that they're going to die down. I think that because not everybody is interested in this like you and I are, but
yeah,
I
that's
have
true.
a lot of therapists as clients and they can see the value in it. And so they'll run the person's chart and then ask those types of questions. Like they're not going
Oh,
to, so they'll say, do you find that when you're in a situation with this person that you jump when they say something more so than you would jump with someone else? So it's a leading question, but it's because they can see that this
right,
person that dynamic is that's where it is. And then the person's usually like, yeah, you know what? I never thought about that. But if you don't have that information,
right.
you don't know what to ask. So you're just, the person only knows, what they recognize. So they could
Yes,
be
it's a
telling you
tool
the
for
wrong thing.
them.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. I have
So good.
lots of therapists that use it. I don't know if
Huh.
they tell people, but they use it. I mean, look
Yeah,
at our presidents. They use it. We have,
right.
lots of people in office who use it. I mean, I have lots of people who come to me who are very famous who get human design readings.
Right.
You'd be very surprised at how many people believe it. They just don't want to tell everybody because they think
Right.
people think I'm weird. But I mean, it's like hiding the fact that you use a calculator.
Right, exactly.
I mean, that's how funny this is going to be in like 20 years. People are going to
Yeah.
be like, oh, yeah, what do you mean you're hiding that? Who cares? It's just a
Yeah,
tool.
it's so funny because we're in pageant practice mode and we have pageant coaches and all that. But usually you use the pageant coach for interview questions and to practice interview. We
Mhm.
just use Chat GPT.
Genius.
And it's like this is so, it's like ask Paige 10 questions related to her platform. And then it shoots it out and it tells, I said, answer this the best way for Paige to answer it. And
Yeah,
then it comes, and then I'll say, make it a shorter version.
yeah.
Yeah, it's,
And then Paige takes it and makes it her own.
yeah. And so, but I'm saying to you, like last year when we were preparing for this pageants, we didn't have that. We
Right.
didn't have that tool. But that's what I'm saying when you said in 20 years, I think it's like in 6 months we're going to
Right,
be like,
probably.
you know,
Yeah, things are moving a lot faster now.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now they
Yeah.
have AI headshots. The photographers that we usually have to pay so much money to go do, they're promoting this AI headshot, like that
Mhm.
they put the face, all these selfies in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, as long as it's helpful, right? And I am not, I wouldn't want it to tell me just what I want to hear. I definitely want it to tell me what's real so that
Right.
I know what to do. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, but for all the people, like I know we probably ended a lot of these episodes with, people that are like hesitant about it or, think it's, and we're all on different journeys of learning certain about the new things of that's coming into this technology world that we're definitely
Yeah,
deeply getting deeper, but we're all it's all different. We're all different in our thinking. So, no one's wrong or right. And that's
that's
the
right.
part that like when I look at it like you do, like it's just a tool that helps enhance my learning,
Right.
you
Exactly.
know?
Yeah. And if you can always tell if you should try something else. If your life is so hard and so stressful, maybe you should give something else a try because it might not be what you think it is. It's not, you're not going into some, voodoo kind of stuff. It's literally just the next step for you to get help, right? To make your
Right.
life easier. You're just making things much harder on yourself. So if you feel that, you may want to just keep an open mind and try something different, right?
Right.
Don't go down the rabbit hole like, you wouldn't want to ask it opinions about, major things in your life. You definitely want to have the human connection, but for astrology charts or,
All the
things like
thing,
that.
yeah, that you don't understand, like is like foreign language to me,
Yeah,
you
that's all it
know?
is. It's like translating Spanish to
Right.
English.
Right.
Mhm,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's amazing. I love it. Thank you, Jeannie.
You're welcome. And I'm always willing to do charts for people at jeanniewinters.com. You can get an astrology reading or human designer gene keys. And we're going to start a community soon. So hopefully we'll be able to, I believe what we're going to do is 2 live sessions a month and then a bunch of um, resources, books, materials, things that people will be able to have access to. Um, but
Fun.
that
I
is
love it.
coming soon.
Yes. And what are we going to talk about next week?
So next week, I believe we're going to, because we're going to be in a different month. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're going to
Okay,
go into.
fun.
It's
So
going to
stay
be
tuned.
something unexpected.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
love it. All
Thank you
right.
so much. We'll
Thank
talk
you
soon.
so much. Now I know why I love you so much.
That's right. Bye, hon.
Bye.